Hi everyone, this is Marin Hirsch at Elixir. We're going to begin our June webinar. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be covering how to build a paid search campaign to promote the Miss USA pageant in 15 days with our special guest today, Vix Paula Hermani. So just to give you first a brief background about Elixir University, we were launched in 2012 with a vision of democratizing the digital marketing industry through exceptional knowledge and expertise sharing. So we do monthly webinars as well as have an annual seminar, this year going to be on September 17, 2013, and we hope to provide the tools and knowledge to help people become better search marketers. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to tweet us with the hashtag NetElixirU, and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. And we invite you to join our LinkedIn group, Elixir University. First, I'll give you a brief background about Udayan Bose, our founder and CEO at Elixir. He founded PartyBingo.com, and he's been a guest lecturer at the Johnson School of Management for Cornell University, City University of New York, Baruch, as well as the Indian School of Business. And as I mentioned, we have a special guest today. Vic Swimwear is joining us, and we have Grace Eco, the Digital Marketing Manager. Just to give you a background about her, she handles mainly social media, blogger outreach, affiliate and digital marketing campaigns and collaborations. And Grace actually was a scientist and has switched industries from biotech to bikinis. And as far as her digital playground, she's been a blogger since 2001, been on eBay since 2003, Facebook since 2004, and used eLuxury before Nowness. And her current channel of choice is Twitter, so you can find Grace on there as well. All right, Grace, I'm going to pass it over to you if you'd like to get started.
Great. Thank you so much, Marin, for the great introduction. Hi, everybody. This is Grace from Vix. And just to start off with, in case you're not familiar with our brand, Vix Paula Hermani is a luxury swim and resort wear brand from Brazil. The designer and owner, Paula Hermani, is from an island city in Brazil called Vitória. And the airport designation of Vitória is VIX, and so that's where we get the name of the brand. Every bikini we have is handcrafted. There's a lot of attention to detail that goes into the design, and as a brand we tend to have some exclusivity and fly under the radar just a little bit, so we are very surprised and very flattered to be approached by Miss USA for the sponsorship. So just to differentiate from Miss America, Miss USA is part of the Miss Universe organization owned by Donald Trump. So they do Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss Teen USA. Our official designation was the official swimwear sponsor of Miss USA 2013. It was very exciting, and as part of the partnership, they included telecast integration, product placement, website integration, a sponsored event, social media, and of course, a ton of networking opportunities. Something that got us as a brand really excited was a chance to blast to their database, which was about 500,000 people strong. Next slide, please. And from our end, as a brand, we take digital marketing quite seriously. There are other companies out there that, the investment into social media and just having an online presence in general is quite lost on them. And for Vix, we like to think of ourselves as a leader within the swimwear industry for building our digital presence. And so for us, that includes, keeping our website up to date. It includes our social media efforts, investing in content, again, having that presence online, and also building relationships. So from our end, to really maximize this partnership with Miss USA, we did a curated section called Miss USA Vix Picks on our website, so people could actually shop the same bikinis that they would see on stage during the pageant. We also had social media content, everything from behind the scenes coverage of the contestants doing their bikini fittings. Also, there was a VIX-sponsored pool party at the Flamingo. We also had access to backstage rehearsals, also a little bit of live streaming on the telecast, and also the after party. So that was great content that we used for our Facebook, for our Instagram, Twitter, and things of that nature. As well, we were networking with the other sponsors, and OPI, for those who aren't familiar, is a nail polish brand, and they're huge. And so just meeting people like that is a great opportunity for perhaps something, other projects down the future. So it's definitely valuable to us as a brand. Also, we were able to connect with the contestants from both Miss USA and Miss Teen USA. And there, I think we have a lot of opportunity for partnering with charity. Vicks Paula Hermani is a very charitable brand, and it's very important to us to give back. And so developing some partnerships there is very important to us. And also, we will be having the opportunity to invite Miss USA 2013 Erin Brady to make a personal appearance at one of our events. So that's very exciting as well. Next slide, please. Something huge that we did in conjunction with everything was a big giveaway. It was win a Vegas trip with Vicks to see Miss USA. The goal, of course, we wanted to promote the pageant, and we also wanted to drive sales. Normally when we do these sorts of online sweepstakes, we make the barrier to entry low, but for this time, because we had such a huge prize in question, we had people shop our Miss USA section on the site. They were to place an order during May 28th through June 5th. And then we actually had 4 tiers of prizes to kind of mimic the little hierarchy that you see in the pageant. So we had our grand prize winner, and they won an entire Vicks look, a trip to Vegas for the live telecast. I actually sat next to them. They were very excited, very happy. Lodging at the Planet Hollywood Hotel, and of course airfare. So that was actually something huge and exciting for us as a brand. And then we had our first runner-up, second runner-up, third runner-up. Vicks Bikini and Cover-Up was the first runner-up, and then it kind of goes down the hierarchy from there. So that was kind of a fun contest to do. Next slide, please. And after the event, we made sure to send an email blast out and just kind of follow up after, the live telecast. The goal here, of course, is new customer acquisition. We did an exclusive code for the Miss USA fans. They received 30% off of the Miss USA section on the Vicks website. And so any bikini that they saw on stage, they could get for themselves to wear this summer. And that's something that we thought people could connect to, and we've seen a good response from that. And so upcoming, because this partnership with Miss USA is an entire year long, we plan to really maximize the email marketing. Like I mentioned before, charity is really important to the brand, so we're hoping to build giving back campaigns, especially since Miss USA is an avid supporter of Susan G. Komen. Sponsored blog posts, both for the Vicks blog and also from the contestant side, because many of them are fashionistas themselves and are into blogging. And also keeping consistent engagement on social media, that's also important to us as well. Next slide, please. Great, and so really the heftier, more interesting part too of this whole partnership with Miss USA is our PPC campaign, which we really wouldn't have been able to do without Elixir. So I'm going to turn it back over to Marin and thank her for everything that they've done on that front, because we are really happy with the results.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Grace, for sharing all that information. So I'm going to go ahead now and introduce the next section of our webinar, the 15-day paid search advertising plan for VIX, which was increasing impression share and average orders per day by 20%. Our paid search goals were first to increase impression share for keywords surrounding VIX and Miss USA 2013. Also, we wanted to increase the number of visitors to the VIX Picks landing page for the swimwear featured in the pageant, and also we wanted to effectively manage the budget to accommodate for extra traffic and added paid search strategies. So I'm actually going to pass this over now to Dan, who's going to discuss the strategies and tactics that we use. So Dan?
Thank you, Marin. So what I'll sort of discuss over the next few slides is basically how we use paid search. This was, it always becomes exceptionally challenging to use paid search advertising to promote events, primarily because of the following reasons. One is any event like Miss USA has a fairly short time period within which the interest and the intent really peaks. And the second part is post-event interest is often higher than the pre-event interest. So this is a screenshot which has been taken from Google Trends, and the search term is Miss USA 2013. As you can see, I mean, till about, well, roughly about 12th of June, the interest level or the search queries around Miss USA 2013 were fairly low. Then suddenly it spiked. The date of the spike was actually 17th of June, which is one day after the Miss USA pageant really happened. So we had to create a campaign which was helpful in sort of building up for this entire phase, managing the spike, and also the post-event marketing. So we, like we always do, we applied the GOST model. Now in this GOST, basically G and O stand for goals and objectives. So the goals out here was increase the impression share by 20%. And S stands for strategies or strategic initiatives. And the three initiatives were controlled account expansion, effective budget management, and using the right metrics as well as the KPIs to track performance. T stands for tactics, and we had the following tactics for each one of these initiatives. So for account expansion, we used something which was very unique and innovative, a concept of social keyword sourcing. And we used our own Twitter tool called Elixir Buzz to do that. We did a fair amount of content marketing, and we did also a substantial amount of remarketing as well. On the budget management front, we almost sort of broke the budget down on a day-by-day basis. During the Miss USA pageant, we actually sort of broke it down into an hour-by-hour basis. As a result of which, there was a very tight control over the budget that we were spending on the PPC terms, especially around the Miss USA pageant. And finally, we had to come up with what was the right metrics to really track and apply and a right set of KPIs, basically. So let me start by discussing our paid search calendar. So we actually created a 15-day paid search calendar. It started on the 7th of June, and it ended on the 21st of June. So as you can see, we have in the first column all the different tactics which have been broken up. So you use Twitter tool to source real-time PPC keywords, because that was a key strategy. I mean, any event like Miss USA is a huge social event. And social event, basically, there is no better platform or tool than Twitter, where people really sort of share their comments, exchange views, opinions, ideas, basically. And Twitter was the platform that we really targeted, so as to really source keywords from there. The second one was the content marketing to maximize reach. What are the different properties through which we can really advertise and broadcast the brand association between VIX and the Miss USA pageant. The third one was remarketing to get more out of the budget. Remarketing is basically almost like getting the people who have visited your site, may not really have purchased anything, to get them to really convert. The fourth was budget management to optimize visibility. Now again, we work with I guess like all the brands, with a fairly restricted or a limited budget, and within that we have to really sort of maximize the reach, because the overall goal of 20% increase in impression share was something we had to go ahead and maintain. And the final piece was the track and analyze, where we very rigorously tracked some specific metrics on the PPC side, which really helped us to understand if the budget is being utilized properly, if the campaign is progressing in the right direction, etc. Now, as you would see, this is a typical calendar which the reason we wanted to present it upfront is very strongly I would recommend all of you, especially any event marketer or holiday marketer, such a calendar can be of amazing use. Like, think of building such a calendar probably around your Black Friday and the Cyber Monday weekend. Probably start around, let us say, 20th or the 17th of November and go all the way till about 30th of November. And during that 2-week period, track your overall budget so as to maximize the efficiency. Go ahead and really distribute, reallocate from the lower performing campaigns to the more optimal campaigns, etc. So this is an invaluable tool, and we have some templates available which Marin will be happy to share with you. In terms of the planned account expansion, we used actually quite a few tactics. We for going ahead and sourcing the keyword. Since this was a very specific time-bound event, we depended a lot, as I mentioned, on the social keyword sourcing, because it was a very social event to really go ahead and grow our keyword list for this period. We also use other tactics like search query analysis, etc., but we'll focus primarily on the social keyword sourcing aspect in this presentation. The other piece which somehow gets probably ignored or not really focused as much is writing custom ad copies. Now, the team here painstakingly went ahead and wrote multiple ad copies which were in alignment with the best practices and the benchmarks that NetElixir has really created. Just for your information, we have a set of about 50 different parameters based on which we judge whether the ad copy is optimal or not. And these ad copies, whether you see whether, just a simple thing like shop these exclusive styles now, followed by an exclamation mark. Just adding this exclamation mark increases the click-through rates by 7%. So things very small, seemingly small, can have a pretty significant impact, and the team had to ensure that all the ad copies were in line with the overall ad copy benchmarks that we had created. Tactic number 1 is what I'm going to focus a lot on, because that is a unique concept. It is a new concept that we are presenting for the first time here. It's basically using the Elixir Buzz tool, and I'll go shortly as to what exactly Elixir Buzz means, to track any tweets around the Miss USA contest and use them as a source for PPC keywords. Now, again, as you can read, Elixir Buzz is basically our social keyword sourcing tool. So what it does, it aggregates all the relevant brand conversations on a real-time basis on Twitter. And then using an algorithm, we are automatically able to split or break down these tweets into individual keywords, which through one click can be added into Google, and we can pretty much with one extra click create a brand new Google AdWords campaign within less than 60 seconds. So effectively, just to expand on this concept, these are all the tweets. This is basically the entire site traffic and all the tweets which happened on the Miss USA 2013. As you can see, the dramatic spike in the volume of tweets between 16th of June and the 18th of June finally subsided a bit on the 19th of June. So these tweets, for a moment, think of them as unique individual conversations. Each conversation is basically a string of multiple keywords. So what we did was we built a technology which can break down these conversations or these tweets to extract brand new unique keywords, which probably we may not have even thought of, primarily because all this is happening on a real-time basis. A conversation, it is difficult to really predict and anticipate the keywords in a conversation. That has been an invaluable way for us to go ahead and expand the entire keyword list. So this is just a glimpse of how the overall technology dashboard really looks like, and I'll try to really quickly share with you as to how this was. So this is our Elixir retail tool. It's our multi-channel campaign management platform, and this is the Twitter module. So in this, you have to add in a keyword which is on an exact phrase. So we have already added, or we had already added these phrases, like Miss USA 2013 was one of the keywords that we added, Miss USA Pageant was the second one, and so on and so forth. So what I wanted to share with you is not really the trends, because we were able to track all the trends as to how many tweets and so on. We were also able to capture all the sentiments, but the interesting part is the reporting section. So what it does, these are all the tweets which contained the word or keyword Miss USA 2013 yesterday. So there were about 155 tweets which had this keyword phrase Miss USA 2013. On the right hand side, you would see that these are the top 20 frequent keywords. So what the technology did, it automatically broke these tweets down into individual words. Now some of these words, understandably, because we are not really using any sort of intelligence at this point in time to sort of break down these keywords, may not really have too much of a meaning. But others probably can be some which we may not really essentially have thought of. So let us say that there are a couple of keywords which we want, let us say Utah Marissa Powell is something which we want to add to the search engine. We just sort of have to click on that, and it directly sort of goes to the Elixir retail tool, and through which you are able to really sort of go ahead and create a brand new AdWords campaign. So what we are saying is something exceptionally powerful. Social keyword sourcing is a mechanism by which you can scan tweets on a real-time basis, scan conversations on Twitter on a real-time basis, algorithmically break down tweets into individual keywords, and through a couple of clicks, create a brand new Google AdWords campaign out of keywords which you may not really have essentially anticipated, because you wouldn't really get that in any one of those sort of keyword traffic estimator tools. So this was of invaluable help for us. So getting back to the presentation, the second tactic that we had used was content marketing. Now, as you sort of probably are familiar with, we targeted websites which were very similar to Wix in the 15-day sort of time period, and we were able to garner an incremental million impressions during this entire campaign. The top 5 content sites where our ad was visible, the first one was Style Bistro, the second one was Symbio, the third is InStyle, fourth is Style Bazaar, and the fifth is Fashioning.com. So the only sort of comment that I would sort of want to make here is it becomes imperative for any marketer to select the sites on which your ad is going to be visible, or you want your ad to be visible very carefully. Because content marketing can get very fake if it is not really controlled in a very efficient manner. The third tactic that we used, again under the account expansion strategy, was remarketing. Now remarketing allows marketers to reach people who have previously visited their website and show them the relevant ads while they are searching on Google or Google network, let us just say. So we were able to, through this process, during this 15-day time period, add an incremental 6.5 million impressions for the website. The second strategy was budget management. Now, what we did was we not only increased the daily budget for a specific time period, we had a different sort of budget multiple for week 1, a separate budget multiple for week 2, etc. But we also broke down the spend into a day-wise spend and impression clicks goal. So every day we had a particular goal to hit. The reason, I mean, some of you may be thinking as to why do we really need to be so fixated about goals, numbers, etc. As a company, I guess, I mean, we are all about goals and numbers and performance. And 20% impression share over a 15-day time period, where you have seen that the event-related spikes can be quite substantial, sometimes becomes a pretty big challenge. So that's the reason we had to really break it down on a day-by-day basis. And this not only sort of, we didn't really sort of restrict ourselves to that, we also broke it down on an hour-by-hour basis after conducting an extensive analysis of what percentage of impressions happen during what day parts. So that's, I think, basically what the overall budget management concept was. So breaking down on a day-by-day basis and sort of breaking down within the day into the major day parts so as to maximize the efficiency of the outreach plan that we had. The third and the last strategy, and again, we'll just sort of touch upon some of the core concepts. We were successful. We exceeded our goal of increasing the impression share for the targeted campaigns by actually 24%. It was 24.3%. We saw a total increase in click-throughs to the Wix Pix landing page, which was the key landing page in this case. The total visits increased by 65%. The new visits increased by 27%. And actually, the bounce rate decreased compared to the overall average for the site by 7%. The budget was carefully monitored and managed to ensure that we capture a greater impression share at the times when the searches were really happening. So that is what sort of was done very sort of rigorously. Again, I mean, for those of you who are into any sort of marketing around events, or probably I assume there are quite a few of you who are holiday marketers as well. It's almost like imperative for you to really manage your entire spend carefully and very efficiently, and try to maximize within those day parts where the likelihood of getting a conversion is the highest. So with that, I'll just sort of summarize the entire sort of piece. The first step one, use the GOST model: goals, objectives, strategy, and tactics. We came up with 3 specific strategies. First is planned account expansion. We have already discussed the Twitter tool, which is the next part. The second is budget management. The third is tracking and analysis. The Twitter tool, it's a unique concept called social keyword sourcing. You are trying to really break down conversations and extract keywords from there. It's almost like saying that a real-time assessment of keyword generation opportunity. We kept a tight check on the budget, so the day parting plus day-wise spend splits were very important. And the key success metric that we were tracking all this while was impression share. The reason why impression share, because we wanted to find out the PPC share of voice that our ads had for that particular time period on the relevant keywords. Marin, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Dan. All right, we're going to wrap up today's session. If you are interested in the GOST template that Udayan discussed, or would like a sample copy of the calendar we reviewed, you can tweet at NetElixir, or you can email me directly, marin@netelixir.com. And we'd really appreciate it if you'd spread the love and tweet about our webinar today, #NetElixirU. And just to let you know, Miss USA may have already aired and our PPC campaign is over, but summer is still in full swing. Vix is actually giving NetElixirU listeners 30% off the same bikinis worn by the Miss USA contestants. So if you or anyone you know would be interested in shopping, you can go to the Miss USA Vix Pick section on their website, vixpaulhermani.com, and use the code MissUSA2013. If you use that, you'll get 30% off. So we really appreciate your time, and also to access our free SEO and SEM tools, you can always visit elixirmarketplace.com. Once again, we do appreciate your time, and also appreciate Grace Eco, our Vix guest today, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.
Any questions?
Any questions, feel free to tweet us as well for those at NetElixirU. All right, thanks so much.